Alright, what's up everybody? Time for another bet. In this video we're doing my card predictions for UFC 279, Chimaev vs Diaz. As always, let's go through the previous cards, the results, then on to the picks and the bets, then I'll break this down. And if you wish to support the channel, stick until the end, I'll show you my Patreon, okay? So, going through the previous cards, actually the previous card actually broke even. It was a tiny profit or 0.3, which gave 9% profit on the event. So this is almost nothing, but anyway, it was some bets cash, some of them I lost, so this is overall results until today, okay? So let's go through the entire card, picks and the bets, not the entire card. I actually didn't go through all the fights. I'll try to take a look at what's remaining until the end of the week, and after the weightings probably see if someone looks good that I'm willing to bet. I'll definitely take a look, and this will be one of the reasons why you could join the Patreon, take the latest updates, and get to know what I'm doing after the weightings. Okay, so between James Pickett and Denney, I'm picking Pickett and not betting. Corison, Hagen, Son, and Yadong. This is from another one. This is this is the wrong one. I think you guys have seen already. I'm interested in betting Yadong here, but this is not on this card. So Li Jingliang and Tony Ferguson. I'm picking Jingliang, but I'm betting Ferguson. 0.8. Hakeem Dawodu and Julian Rosa. I'm picking Dawodu and betting Rosa. 0.9. Tan Hailey and Chad and Helger. Picking Hailey, not betting. Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez. I'm picking Holland, but not betting. I'll probably be betting Rodriguez by decision, but for now, no bets. Darren Weeks and Johan Lainez. I'm picking Lainez. I'm picking Weeks and betting him. Jayota Almeida and Anton Turkali. I'm picking Almeida but betting Turkali, 0.3055. Irene Aldana versus Macy Chason. I'm picking Aldana but not betting. Norma Dumont and Daniel Wolf. I'm picking Dumont. Curious on this one, I may bet Wolf. Let's see. I'll wait for the weightings. And but for now, no bets. Hamzat Chimaev and Nate Diaz. Man, we've got to bet Diaz here. Let's see. I'll break this down, guys. You understand why. 0.35, so my smallest bet here on Diaz. Let's go through the what I have here to you guys. Let's try to focus on those that I'm betting more. So between Kevin Holland, this is not in order, okay? So between Kevin Holland and Daniel Rodriguez, this is actually it's getting interesting. I was thinking that Holland would come as a very strong favorite. After watching the tape, I mean, he has to be the favorite, right? He's, the length of the guy is incredible, right? For welterweight, it's just insane, right? Plus, he packs power. He's young, right? And he's dynamic on the feet. He's not a bad grappler, but it's Kevin Holland, that he's gonna show up as he does all the time, being there, trying to have fun in the cage and etc. And you cannot trust him too much. He's fighting Rodriguez here, who's a solid guy. He likes to move forward, big volume for Rodriguez. Not the biggest puncher, not the most explosive guy, but decent power. He's a big guy for the division. Keeps accumulating damage and keeps pushing the pace. He's not a good grappler or anything. Rodriguez, not bad, but not much his thing. He's not a wrestler. So this will play out on the feet, right? Which you will have to favor Holland because of the reach. But like I told you guys, Holland, he doesn't have much of a structure to his game. His striking is not like those sharp 1-2 hit and run type of things, like those long guys that are super sharp. It's not Holland. Holland's more like a power puncher there. So I think it could be close, right? I can see a world when Rodriguez, hits the punches, he blocks them and pushes the pace. He does more volume than Holland. I mean, this could happen. I think most likely Holland controls the range and does more damage, right? Has more potential. But like I told you guys, I think Rodriguez, he could win this one, right? It will depend a lot on whether he can take Holland's punches and keep marching forward. I think he can. So to me, this is closer to a 50-50 than a domination for Holland. The only bet that I'm going to take here is probably going to be Rodriguez by decision. I don't think there is no way Rodriguez finishes Holland. Holland could finish Rodriguez, but not easy. So this probably goes the distance. I'm picking Holland decision, but definitely interested in Rodriguez by decision as an underdog here. Alatan Hailey and Chad and Helger. This is a good fight, actually. I got surprised. I was thinking this would be a lower level. Hailey would be, in the past, would be just a wrestler, but he evolved nicely. The man is quite powerful, right? He's also developed quite well his striking. I liked his hands recently. I mean, he's not the best, right? He still has some room to improve, but it's quite good. I mean, the striking, and obviously there is the high level wrestling. My only concern here is like Hailey is not the best grappler. I would like to see this guy using more control, using more jiu-jitsu on the ground. He's more like a wrestler, that he takes guys down, tries to wear on them, but doesn't quite keep the pressure on. So on Helger, he's a veteran of the game. The guy has good striking, but he's quite easy to take down, not because he doesn't defend well, but because I think he's a little bit undersized for bantamweight, and he's not in his physical prime anymore, right? So especially against Hailey, who's a high-level wrestler, so it's gonna be Hailey being able to take this to the ground whenever he wants. And Helger is not easy to control, but like I told you guys, Latan Hailey is not the best BJJ player, doesn't have much control. So it could play mostly on the feet, right? But as I told you guys, Hailey can take this to the ground anytime, so you gotta favor him. On the feet, I would still maybe favor Hailey a little bit. And Helger looks a little bit, he looks a little bit tougher. He also looks a little bit more dynamic, right? Has more experience striking, so you could make a case for him on the feet. So if it's gonna play mostly on the feet, it could be anybody's fight. But like I told you guys, I think has to favor Hailey just because he's such a good wrestler, and Helger is a little bit undersized. So I mean, the odds look correct to me. I'm not gonna bet this one. If you're gonna force me to bet, I would probably bet Hailey here. I think he has much more potential. But and probably I will wait for the weightings. I think Hailey gonna be looking like the much bigger man in there, so probably makes sense to parlay him. Probably I'm gonna be doing that. I'll let you guys know later on. Jamie Pickett and Denney Tiululin. This is a quite curious fight to pick and to bet. Tiululin, from what I've seen, he likes to push forward and be the power puncher in there, gets to your face and drops the bombs. He's fighting Pickett here, who used it to be like that, right? The guy that was a fast starter and either finish or get finished. Then he changed his style completely, became more composed in there, more patient, right? Sometimes too patient. So then probably he got critiques. Pickett got criticized. Then I don't know what he's gonna do here, to be honest, right? I think you have to favor Pickett because Tiululin to me is primarily a good brawler. Let's put it this way. He's more aggressive, so you could see him winning here because Pickett, like I told you guys, I don't know what he's gonna do, and but I think he'll fight. I mean, if Dennis Tiululin gets to his face, I think Pickett will fight him. Then becomes interesting. Plus, Pickett is the better grappler here, the better wrestler. He's not an outstanding wrestler or anything, but pretty decent. He has the size, in my opinion, even though I think Denney is a little bit younger, but no, Denney is also 33. So I think they're probably the same age. Yeah, so to me, it's Pickett here. Actually, to bet Pickett is not a bad idea. I think I'm going to be waiting here a little bit, right? Because, yeah, like I'm putting here to you guys, probably the best bet is Jamie Pickett by decision, Tiululin by knockout, because the man keeps pushing. If he can break, if he can land heavy and Pickett starts slowing down, cannot take him to the ground type of thing, then Tiululin could win by knockout, right? So it's quite tough. I think the values on Pickett, by my odds, Pickett would be minus 150. Pickett now on the book is like minus 135. I hope people keep betting Tiululin. I would like to bet Pickett here, but maybe for now the best thing is to pass, but I'm considering Pickett here. Toyota Almeida and Anton Turkali. This is pretty easy to break down and to bet, not so much, but Almeida, the man is extremely explosive, tall, long. It just explodes in your face, hammers you, throws you to the ground, keeps smashing you. The man is also a physical guy. He has an awesome cardio, will keep pushing. Turkali is more like a well-rounded guy, likes to push forward, pretty decent everywhere, decent wrestling, decent grappling, not bad striking. The only reason I'm betting here Turkali is because he's plus 500, right? And I don't know, I'm still curious to see what Almeida gonna do if in case he cannot finish Turkali. Turkali is young, 26 only, So I think he still has the toughness in there, right? I think he could survive, and if he survives from the second, things could get interesting. So maybe, like I'm putting you guys, I'm just betting Turkali because I would bet him from plus 350. I can get him at plus 400. I'll bet him, but obviously I'm not confident. It's just like giving myself the benefit of the doubt. If he survives, what's gonna happen? But the pick is Almeida within distance. Norma Dumont, Daniel Wolf, another interesting one. Obviously difficult because Norma Dumont pretty good everywhere, but she doesn't have the best volume in there. I think went after she guessed against Megan Anderson, she started getting worried. Now she's still dangerous in there. She holds the center. She's still powerful. She's still dangerous on the ground. And but cannot criticize her too much because she has been winning, except for the fight against Macy Chason. By the way, this is wrong here. Please ignore this. So, but Dumont fight Chason, she had decent cardio there. It was a close fight, right? And yeah, I mean, Danielle Wolf, I'm impressed, to be honest, guys. She's 38. She looks like much younger. So she's so fit, and the woman is like 6 feet tall, so she's insanely big for the division. She's a former boxer. Looks like she didn't have the most impressive record, I don't know, but she looks pretty good, right? She has a massive range in here. Not massive because she's only 70 inches in range, so she doesn't have that long arms or anything. But anyway, I think Norma is 65 inches in reach, and she's 5'5" or 5'6", Norma Dumont. So Daniel Wolf controls the range here. Dumont will get to her face, will get to the clinch, will take her down. Can Daniel Wolf survive the submissions? I think she can, to be honest. She looked so solid against the previous fighter she had there. Forgot the name of the girl. Of course, that one was not a grappler, but anyway, I got impressed of Daniel Wolf. She almost got a guillotine in there. It was pretty deep. So it's incredible how fast this woman can learn. So, but anyway, she has one fight, right? So it's anyway, she probably can grab things very quickly, but anyway, it's a matter of experience here. So you gotta favor Dumont. Maybe like I'm putting here like minus. I would give Dumont probably minus. Yeah, putting her like 70% would be minus 300. Norma Dumont would give you Daniel Wolf like plus 235, something like that. So in my calculations, it makes sense to bet Wolf. Like I told you guys, I'm gonna see the weightings. I'm probably gonna bet Wolf here because I don't trust Dumont's cardio still. And given the size, I don't know, man. I think maybe there's some value on Dumont, but probably I'm wrong. I don't know. Hakeem Dawodu and Julian Rosa, good fight. Dawodu known from his kickboxing, big puncher, very athletic, powerful. Rosa, tall guy, 6'1" he is, super long, but another one of those guys that doesn't quite capitalize on the reach as much as he could. He likes to keep inside, throw bombs, so he likes to be more entertaining in there, but at the ending, he can get caught, he can get finished. Julian Rosa can. So the reason why Dawodu is such a strong favorite, I believe, is because people probably gonna think that the Rosa is gonna be knocked out, which is probably the most likely scenario. But the Rosa is tough. He has the range here. I don't think he's going to be that much of a fool, just to bang with Dawodu, even though it's not impossible. He did that before. I think he's going to try to fight just a little bit smarter here, try to control the range a little bit more. He has 76 inches. Dawodu has long arms too, but I think it's 73. So Rosa is probably 4 inches or 3 inches taller and has at least a couple on height, on reach. So Rosa can control the range here a little bit. And he will try to take it to the ground, right? Dawodu is a very strong athlete. He's not going to be easy to take down, but if Rosa can push him back and get to the body lock, this type of things, he could take him down. So to me, the odds are a little bit off. I have Dawodu between minus 150 and minus 140. Rosa to me would be plus 150. Right, or plus 140. I would go more plus 140 for Rosa. In the bookies, you can have him for plus 185, so definitely the bet on Rosa. Rosa by decision, also interesting. This is tough to finish Dawodu. Rosa could get a submission. right? The knockout not that easy to knock Dawodu out. Submission not impossible for Rosa. So yeah, I think Rosa has a small chance for finish and has some chance for the decision. So yeah, Rosa, I'm betting him on the money line and probably going to be betting him a little bit more of a decision. But it's a tricky one because probably Dawodu can find the knockout shot. Rosa has been finished before and we know Dawodu's power. Yonko Toleva and Johnny Walker. This is not on the spreadsheet, by the way. So I will add it here later on. I think this is the main card probably, right? So Yonko Toleva versus Johnny Walker. Afterwards I will add it here. Guys, this is an interesting one. Should be a war here, right? Because Johnny Walker, one of those guys that started too fast, now lost his style, not being effective in there. But Yonko Toleva gonna just come to his face. I don't think Toleva gonna hold back at all in this fight. I think he's gonna push. He's gonna get to Walker's chest and gonna try to wrestle him and smash him on the ground. Walker, when you fight him and he fights you back, it's anybody's. The man is dangerous. He's such a giant for the light heavyweight. Those flying knees are just timed so nicely and he jumps so high, right? Toleva 6'1", so Walker 6'6". There's 5 inches there. Walker, I think there's some decent chance that he finds that flying knee, right? But the most likely scenario is Yonko Toleva pushing the pace, smashing Walker down, right? Walker, we know that he can be knocked out, not the best chin out there. Toleva was finished before by Ankalaev, but the man still has a legit chin, in my opinion. And but anyway, Walker can't finish him. So I think it's almost impossible that this goes the distance, right? And my pick is Toleva is in distance. I think probably it's knockout, but Toleva could find a submission even here if he hurts Walker, takes his back or puts an arm triangle or something. But we'll see. Walker will fight him. Walker dangerous with the flying knees, like I told you guys. So maybe if you can get Walker by knockout from plus 300, I think that's also a good prop. But this should be a fun one. Irene Aldana and Macy Chason. Another good one. Actually, I was very tempted to bet Aldana here. The reason is Aldana she's composed in there. I like her boxing, basically. The reason why I'm not betting her is I think she when she starts getting hit, I think she has a weak chin. Not a weak maybe, but she doesn't have a strong chin, and I still don't trust her too much, to be honest. Right? Chason is super aggressive. She'll get to her face and make her fight. And Chason will risk, right? I think most likely Aldana finds the knockout shot because she's much more technical and she has power. But Chason, she's a big girl, like 5'11", right? So she's massive for bantamweight. And like I told you guys, she's aggressive and she'll make Aldana fight. She could find some clean shots herself. So if you like Chason here, I don't blame you. What I don't like much are the odds, to be honest. I'll bet like Aldana probably at minus 130 and Chason, if I can get her, I'm putting here plus 170. I don't have any of those. I think I'm just going to watch this one. But I'm curious. This is a tough one to pick and to bet, in my opinion. But Aldana by knockout for a pick. Li Jinliang and Tony Ferguson. This is another interesting one. So, I don't know, it may look stupid for me to bet Ferguson here because all the how do you say this? I forgot the expression sometimes people use, but all the factors would be going to Jinliang's here. So Jinliang, the natural welterweight, has power. Ferguson 38, Jinliang now 34. So arguably he's still in this physical prime, right? So why would I bet Tony here? I mean, Tony's tough, guys. I don't think that. To be honest, I told this in the latest fight against. Just my goodness, I really don't want to talk about this thing. I always forget. So anyway, Tony's last fight, I'm gonna remember soon. So Tony's last fight, he was able to. I was telling you guys that he tends to lose to good wrestlers and grapplers. So Tony, I mean, Jinliang is not a grappler. He's a decent wrestler, but I don't think he's gonna wrestle Tony here. Tony has the range over Jinliang, even though Jinliang is an inch taller. But Ferguson has 4 inches in range. The man has massive experience Ferguson. He knows what Jin Yang is good with. Is good. He knows about the power. I don't think Tony is afraid of Jin Yang. Obviously, it doesn't matter if Jin Yang starts landing, he'll put Tony out, right? Especially if he can land 3 or 4. Tony still has a decent chin, in my opinion, right? But obviously, Jin Yang has a chance for the knockout. This is the most likely scenario. But to me, I mean, Tony is an experienced guy. He can control the range here. Jin Yang, I don't trust him too much, to be honest, guys. His knockout shots are obviously great. But if he doesn't knock you out, he probably loses the decision because I don't see him still much effective. Plus, he doesn't have the range here. So to me, guys, Tony here has a very good chance to win a decision, basically, right? The best bets here are probably Jin Yang by knockout, but depends on the price, and definitely Tony by decision, right? I'm betting Tony on the money line because I parlay him, right? May look stupid to most of people, but when those parlays they cash, I obviously don't do giant parlays. I do like doubles, right? So if I get Tony with some other guy that I'm betting future cards or anything, I have a multiplier of over 2. So to me, this is basically what I have. I have Jin Yang at minus 170. I have Tony at plus 165. I can get Tony at plus 220. So to me, it makes sense to bet Tony here. And like I told you guys, I'm going to bet more on Tony by decision. But if you like Jin Yang, I would look for a knockout or even round 2 or round 3 knockout. Jin Yang pretty good because Jin Yang, he starts very slow. So unless he changed something here, he wouldn't knock Tony out on the first, but he can wake up on the second, or even he could be losing 2 rounds to Tony and he finds a knockout shot on the third. I could definitely see that. So if you like Jin Yang, that would be the way to go in my opinion. And Chimaev and Diaz, I didn't put in here. I think I left that in another, but so this is obviously interesting, right? Chimaev is a wrestling monster, but it was very interesting to see the fight against Durinho here. I mean, Durinho was he got taken down, but he was threatening Chimaev. Chimaev was backing out from the grappling. Diaz doesn't have the level that Durinho has, but Diaz is tough. He will try to catch Chimaev in some submissions, so Chimaev gonna have to avoid that at some point. Let's see if he passes the guard and ends up dominating Diaz. Probably that's what's gonna happen. So there's a massive age difference here. Diaz now 37, and Chimaev 28. So massive experience, age. Let's put it this way: age advantage for Chimaev. But man, Diaz is still Diaz. He's still tough. You know, it's incredible how the guy still can take a shot. He still fights. We'll see, guys. If Diaz can keep this standing, you know, it's Diaz with that 1-2 with that massive range, just landing on you. This is a 5-rounder, so gotta remember that. We haven't seen Chimaev in a 5-round fight. I mean, the guy still looks like a monster. He looks like one of those guys from the Russian Orange in there, Dagestani, those guys that come for war and they give everything they have. As we saw Chimaev, the only reason he won was against Turin was his heart. So he proved himself. He proved to be a solid fighter. He proved to have heart. But anyway, guys, I don't know how his preparation is. He looks good. But when you stop and look at the odds, guys, Diaz is what, plus 750, plus 800. You're either going to bet Diaz or you can obviously parlay Chimaev and cash a little bit. But anyway, I don't know. I think it makes sense to bet Diaz. If Diaz survives the first round, he's going to lose. The second, he's going to lose for sure. I don't know. Can Diaz then survive and can Chimaev slow down a little bit? Diaz start landing with those 1-2s? I don't know. It's not impossible, right? So I have Chimaev close to 70%, would give like minus 300, minus 330. Diaz to me would be plus 250, plus 300, but plus Diaz is plus 800, so I have to bet Diaz. All right, so that's what I have for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. If you should support the channel, I have 2 tiers for you guys. The $10 tier, you guys have access to this material here. If you guys see, I have the breakdowns that I talk about here in summarize, so you guys can read about this. As I told you guys, the post that I do post weightings is exclusive on Patreon. So some extra bets, some So you guys have material that I published earlier. So Sanhagen and so I put already the material in there. So I have some props that I took on the previous card. Most of them didn't cash, to be honest. So it was not the best example here, but when I have some good props, right, I was sharing some. Also, to some Tiberian crash, so you guys have some extra props that I do some extra bets for 10 and for 30. For $50, you guys have access to this spreadsheet with the future bets. I have bets already, even on UFC 280, which is one of my biggest bets recently on UFC 280. So if you're curious for that, join the Patreon. Also, I have all the props line by line that I'm taking. So some props that cashed last time was a Kopilov by knockout, right, and Zion by decision. Even though the others I lost, so I broke even in there, but some pretty good props come here, like Marlon Vera on the past, round 4. So pretty good props, also part of the $50 tier. And I'm coming up with the fighters database. I think this is going to be a good thing. I'm not going to be showing this too much now because it would take time and it's still not ready. But the fighters database coming up as part of the $50 tier. All right. So I hope you guys are still there. If you are, please, like, subscribe, share with your friends. Let me know if you agree with my picks and my bets, and shout out to you guys that are still here with me. All right, guys, I'll talk to you next time. Take care.